Hey gang, Tony here, and you're in for another yard sale finds video. Pretty good, right? Yeah, I know. That was very special of me, wasn't it? I feel like when I do these yard sale find videos, there really has to be that epic echo to really sell it, you know what I mean? Or not. I'll probably never do that again, so don't worry about it. So this was a pretty good weekend. I had a lot of stuff that I got, all pretty cheap. Although there was one huge disappointment. I'm going to start out with that. I think I started out with that last time too. It was the second yard sale I went to. And I was, pretty excited to see a couple of items. And maybe I let that slip a little too much. But they had a Super Nintendo, a Nintendo 64, which all had like games and controllers and stuff. And then I spotted something out of the corner of my eye, and I was trying to play it slick a little bit, so I didn't say anything about that right away. I asked the price on the video game systems, and they wanted $60 for everything. And again, I mean, maybe it's kind of worth that if you're selling it on eBay, but at a yard sale, there's just no way I'm going to pay that. And when I asked just how much for the Super Nintendo, $30, they split it in half. And I could have probably haggled on that one, but there was no way I was going to pay anywhere near that, to be honest. I mean, video game stuff, I can dig it, but I don't need it. It's more of like a novelty for me. It's like, oh, cool, I'll play some old games that I used to have. Right on. Yeah, I don't really want to invest actual money into it, so I kind of let that go for a minute. And then I went to the thing that I saw out of the corner of my eye, which was a talking Alf doll, and then 2 Alf hand puppets from Burger King. The talking Alf doll still worked. It was kind of ratty in its condition, but I was still so excited to see it. I'm like, it's Alf! It's an Alf doll! Oh my god! So I played cool. How much? They said $10. The one lady said $10. And in my mind I'm thinking like, okay, this is probably worth a little more than that, but I don't want to pay $10. So I kind of put it off to the side for a second. I was like, alright. And I thinking to myself, if I find a couple of other things, I could bundle it and maybe get a better deal. So I look around a little longer, and then I go back and I say, well, how about $5 for the Alf doll? At this point, some other lady came walking out. They're both older, so I didn't really think that they, it's the same situation like last time with the Atari, right? Where you think, oh, they don't really know what this stuff is. It's just a stuffed animal to them. So now there's this second, even older lady standing there. And I ask her, well, can I get it for $5? And she looks at me and scoffs. Oh, this is worth $70. Now here we go again. Here we go. Probably looked it up on eBay and found the one that went for the most ever, or else what some crazy person put it up for on like a buy it now that never actually sold for that price. But they saw $70, so it has to be worth $70. No matter what the condition or anything like that. I'm like, okay. And she goes, I can't give it away for $5. I'll take $20. I tell her, the other lady said $10. And she goes, oh no, she was mistaken. Oh my god. Curse you fates. And then, I started walking away. And she said, well, I'll give you all 3 for $25. So she's talking about the big talking Alf doll and then these little 2 hand puppets for $25. And whether or not that's an okay deal, because frankly, getting all 3 of those for $25, even on eBay, is probably, you could do it, I think, but, having it right there, I said I'd give her 20 for all 3, which I think was way too much anyway, and she wouldn't take it. She's 25. I walked away from it. And that was the biggest disappointment of the day, because right there, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, 3 Alf dolls. What? I would take all of it, but not for friggin', she wanted, so it was 60, 78, she wanted near $80 to $100 altogether for everything that I was interested in, and it's just, you can't do it, I can't do it at a yard sale. I don't know about you guys, but me, had to walk away from it. It's a shame. I checked later on eBay, and in mint condition with the box, you could maybe get like $35, $40. In the condition she had it, I saw one selling for $17, $15, $20 maybe, plus shipping. So I'm kind of glad in hindsight that I passed on them, but You want to see what I actually got? I'm talking too much. Okay. Alright, so at that same yard sale, luckily it wasn't a complete bust. I saw these little guys. Got pumpkin and skull, what do they call it? Candles. I couldn't think of the word. They're not like vintage or anything. They're not worth much more than I paid $1 for the two, so 50 cents each. They're not worth much more than that, but I mean, I have trouble passing up this kind of stuff. So got a couple of plug-in candle light-up things with the skull and the jack-o'-lantern, and I called it a win because I paid $1 for them, and I think made the smart move by passing on the Alf stuff. So I got those two, which was a pretty good start. It was an okay start. A little disappointed. I was really frustrated over the Alf and the Nintendos, but I was able to kind of choke it down and say, okay, I got something at least. So then the next item was another Halloween thing, surprisingly. And again, not worth much more than I paid for it, probably, but I could not pass it up. It's a Monster Haunt Your House decoration. So this doesn't do anything except light up. And what you're supposed to do is you kind of bury it in your yard under the leaves and stuff, so it looks like they're popping out of the ground. It looks as if it has never been taken out of the box. The box is in pretty rough condition, but I don't really care. It was from Ames for $15.99 back in 1999 this is from. So obviously a pretty old light up Halloween decoration. But you know what? She asked $3. I gave her $2 for it. I can't pass this kind of stuff up, and I'm torn because it's not worth anything really. So I'm kind of considering taking it out of the box and putting it out in the yard. But there's just some kind of like gross charm about this messed up, dusty box that it's in. That, like, you could just picture it sitting in Ames. It's kind of like a Walmart if you don't know what Ames is, like a Walmart or a Kmart. I could just picture this sitting there in 1999, all shiny and new. And anyway, I don't know, $2 for that, and I was happy to pay it. Can't pass that kind of thing up. Come on, light up Frankenstein that goes in the yard. All right, so now I'm getting a little happier. I got a couple of Halloween goodies. Nothing worth a whole lot of money or anything, but you know, I don't really care. These are for me, you know. All right, so the next stop. Oh no, at that same yard sale, I was about to walk away, but they had a whole bunch of comic books for 50 cents. And I had #1 of Boneyard, so I bought this issue #2 of Boneyard. 50 cents. I mean, you know, it's a comic book for the hell of it. And then, I can't remember what I feel like I bought something else there, and then did this for the sake of doing it. I don't know. I bought a Blair Witch movie for 50 cents. It's a VHS. It was just it's still in the plastic. It was one of those like spur of the moment. What the hell? Let me grab this. Just for the fun of having it. I don't know why, but Blair Witch seems like the type of movie that actually works really well on like if you have it on VHS. I guess because it's a whole handheld and all that kind of stuff. The reason I'm hesitating is because I feel like I bought this purposely because it was 50 cents and I bought another 50-cent thing at the same yard sale and I didn't want to have change, so I just gave her $1 for this and something else. But for the life of me, I can't remember what that might have been. So we're just going to move on. Alright. The next thing is not Halloween. It's not horror. It's just something that was so serendipitous to find that I couldn't believe that I found it. In fact, my brother is the one who pointed it out to me. If you follow me on Facebook, if you follow me on my other horror pages and things, Candy Corn Apocalypse, I have been talking recently about how I'm getting very obsessed with the idea of learning how to make props, Halloween props, starting all the way from scratch. Like, not just kind of like throwing paint on stuff, but sculpting, and then going even further back and learning how to build a circuit board so that I could make animatronics. And I really was getting interested in going that far back. Not buying pre-made circuit boards, not buying pre-made electronics, but actually getting to know how to do a circuit board and create these different movements from scratch. So it was kind of crazy that I found this. It's an electronic learning lab. This was a Radio Shack item, and it has manuals in here and a whole circuit board learning thing with the breadboard, which is that part in the white there, the breadboard. It's got workbooks, a couple of workbooks. It looks like it's never been used, you know? It looks brand new. It's got all this stuff in there. I asked the lady if it was used, and she said, yeah, her son, actually, it was a Christmas gift, and he used it and is actually in college for engineering now. So I thought that was kind of cool. In fact, if you look on the back, you could still see some remnants of Christmas wrapping paper, which I find kind of amazing. Anyway, so she wanted $5 for this, and frankly, I didn't have the heart to talk that down, because I think at the time I thought this has to be worth more than that, and I was so excited. But, however, even though I didn't want to talk her down, there was something sitting right next to it for 25 cents. It was this little plush guy. And he's a little skeleton, you know. And I thought, you know, he could keep my other plush dolls company on the couch when I do my videos. And it had 25 cents on it, so I said, instead of talking her down on the $5, I said, throw in the toy. And she said, yeah, sure, take the toy. So I got this and the electronic learning lab for $5. Again, this is not stuff I'm planning on selling. This is for here. And the electronics, I'm going to use this. I want to learn this stuff and hopefully get some props made for Halloween. It's going to be pretty cool. So I'm very excited about that. That's a personal item there. And then I just remembered what the other thing was that went with the Blair Witch. And that is this toy rifle. They wanted 50 cents for it. 50 cents. It has a little sticker there. It says, Made in America by Americans, which I thought was kind of cool around this patriotic time of year. It's a little cap gun, toy gun. It's made by Paris. It says on there. Has some markings on the metal part. I looked this one up. It's worth, at best, $10. But on a 50-cent investment, you know, I can't help myself sometimes with 50 cents. It's like, how do you pass something like that up? So it's pretty cool. I thought it was a really nice piece of memorabilia or toys or whatever. So I got that and the Blair Witch for $1. And I may sell it. I don't know yet. I do very badly need the money. This is kind of like here's my mindset when I go yard selling. Out of everything I buy, some of it's for me, and some of it's to sell. And as long as I can make back what I spent at the yard sales, and usually plus more, I'm happy. So, out of everything I spent here, there's 2 or 3 items that I can sell and make back all the money that I spent, plus more, which is, you know, kind of where it's what I like doing. So that way, technically, I'm never actually spending money, and most of the time I'm making money. There is one more thing. This was the last items that I bought, and frankly I knew that I shouldn't waste the money, but I had to take the chance on it. Disney stuff is a gamble. In my experience, you could be blinded by like the Mickey Mouse Disney type stuff, because if it seems like it should be worth a lot of money, and sometimes it really is, but I don't know the Disney World that well, and once in a while I take a shot on something that I think might be worth. So for $1 I got these two. It's a Mickey and a Donald Duck. Yeah, I think Donald Duck, right? For $1. So that wasn't too bad. What pushed me over the edge was the markings on the feet saying that it was made by Marx, and M-A-R-X, and I was fairly certain that could be a rare thing. Unfortunately, I was mistaken. These are not worth all that much money. If I'm lucky, I can sell the pair for $10, maybe $12, which on a $1 investment is still, pretty good, but it's not at all what I was hoping it would be. So the plan is to sell these, maybe the gun, and I'm thinking about getting rid of some of my comics that I have, so maybe that Boneyard comic, and making back all the money that I spent on this week's yard sale. So that's everything, guys. My favorite items of the week, probably the light-up Frankenstein monster and the electronic learning lab. This coming in a close second or third, just because I like it. And that'll do it for me, everybody. I hope you all had a good 4th of July. I hope you guys all got out to the yard sales as well, maybe found a couple of unique items. Let me know. Tell me. Share with me what you found. Any good scores? Any 80s stuff? Maybe you found an Alf doll that wasn't $25. It was only $4. It's the price that it should have been. Alright, everybody. Have a good one. Shoot off some fireworks for me. Cheers.